Kingdom Come. I had like an Aguilera record. Like I brought these CDs, and he's like, "You don't think I have pillows in my house?" I'm like, "Well, I don't want to like impose because I don't have pillows in my house. I don't have like toiletries and I don't have towels in my house." I'm like, "You probably do." And then I asked him like, "Okay, well, like I'm here in LA. What is your address?" And he lived in Orange County at the time. And he's like, "Okay, I'll give you an address." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And he goes 1251 Compton Avenue. I'm like, the energy in the building. Okay, so quick side note. So I attended Kobe's memorial at the Staples Center, and so this is the first time I'm telling the story. So there's a stage where like the Lakers logo would be, and it's elevated, and where people were speaking out to camera. So you know, the Kobe's family was in the first row, and Michael was just kind of like off to the side. I shouldn't say off to the side. He's also in the first row, but adjacent to Vanessa. But when Michael, like the whole memorial started with Beyonce. Beyonce sings EXO and then Halo. And Beyonce,
she got a good outfit on too.
She's a queen.
Yeah.
So Beyonce also had a fan.
Had a
fan. So it was like,
I noticed that. The hair was like,
well, I mean, that's how the queen.
I'm trying to do it with my own hair.
Okay.
She like just moves through like humans through water. She just waves and through air. But like that powerful tribute right from the jump, Kimmel sets the tone with the perfect blend of levity and gravity. And then Vanessa speaks, powerful waterworks, bro. Like the whole audience. So Vanessa says, I want to start with, and you guys may have seen this, by talking about my baby. Starts talking about Gigi.
Yes,
and then audible sniffles, like 18,000 people just start sniffling and just misty. And then she speaks about her soulmate, Kobe. So, and then it's Diana Taurasi speaks, and then Sabrina Ionescu, and then Coach Gino Auriemma. And then I think it was Michael, if I'm not mistaken. So there were all these great anecdotes about Kobe, and then it was emotional, and it was a little bit, some humor, and then just everybody was praising Gigi, and you felt the weight of the moment. So then when Michael goes up, you can understand how he's in that place, and then he has to go and speak, and Michael doesn't really speak publicly that much.
No, because if you remember, the All-Star game was like the week before, right? And it was in Chicago.
Pretty much, yeah.
And he was pretty much MIA for the entirety of the events.
That's
He wasn't.
And even like when he gets on like the podium or just does any sort of speaking engagement, every sentence starts with the game of basketball. Like every time. Like I think it's
Mike's pretty reserved.
That's like his go-to line, right? Every single time.
But like he really spoke from the heart on that one, man.
He did, and he prepared a speech, and he was just like, reciting it to the audience, and then like he would go on for like 2 minutes and then flip the page. So he wasn't even like reading, like Shaq was reading his prepared notes, which is fine. But Michael was like speaking from the heart. And we never hear Michael speak with reverence about somebody else. I mean, I shouldn't say that.
You know what?
Rarely, because I'm sure he's spoken about Magic or Dr. J or Jerry West, people that came before him.
But it's very surface level. It's not really like deep, right?
I don't know. You know what? Because I've heard Michael speak about Magic when Magic was diagnosed with HIV.
Oh, okay.
And Michael was very upset that Magic was. He was at the time, like the HIV and AIDS was like a huge deal, and it was considered a death sentence.
Yes.
So Michael was speaking from the heart. I saw Michael like an interview after that, and Michael was basically, he wasn't crying at that point, but Michael was talking about like all I'm concerned with is he going to be okay? Because I mean, like the perception around that disease at the time was something different.
And the game of basketball.
The game of basketball. But Michael actually did touch on basketball, because Michael was just like,
of course he does.
Because you know what Michael said after he was all sad about Magic? He was just like, I feel kind of cheated. I feel that I needed to beat Magic a few times in the NBA Finals in order to feel like I'm.
Because MJ always wanted to go out there and compete, right?
Yeah, he's like the most alpha, apex predator competitor.
Oh yeah.
I shouldn't say predator competitor, but apex competitor. Like him and Kobe are the same DNA.
So I'm glad you touched upon like the emotions of like the speakers. We just talked about MJ, talked about Vanessa and all the other coaches and Shaq and whatnot. But like, describe the energy in that arena.
Okay, so You walk in there and it's kind of somber, and I'm sitting. So if the stage, so it's a square stage, and on the floor seats are all the NBA players. So the Warriors, so Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond, the Rockets. So I'm sitting like 4 rows behind James Harden and Russell Westbrook, and then there's D Wade is in the same section, as is Kyrie Irving, and then across from us is Shaquille O'Neal, Jerry West, like Jennifer Lopez, Alex Rodriguez were also there. Beyonce and Jay-Z were there. Like royalty was in there.
And remind me later, I have a question about A-Rod and J-Lo to ask you, but
okay, will do. So it was, and like most of the players were wearing sunglasses. I don't think Steph wore sunglasses. I don't think Klay. And then actually to my left was DeMar DeRozan, Rudy Gay, Coach Popovich, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili. Like it was like the who's who in the NBA coming to, if they could pay their respects. I mean, these players didn't have games that day, and actually no, the Houston Rockets played later that night.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I saw Harden and Westbrook were sitting beside each other.
That's correct.
And I was just like going through my head. I was like, don't they play tonight?
Yes.
And they weren't playing. Obviously, they weren't playing in Los Angeles that night, but they.
Yeah, well, they
had to be there, right?
Yeah, they definitely. Okay, so Beyonce sets the tone, and then Rob Pelinka spoke before Michael Jordan, who was Kobe's agent for 20 years, and Kobe was his best friend, I believe. Rob Pelinka was Godfather of Gigi. So he spoke about Kobe learning Moonlight Sonata, Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata.
Yes.
And then
just off the sound. Right?
Yeah, he wanted to learn. Yeah, and then I think there was a video of Kobe playing once. One random video popped up on Twitter, him playing the piano. And then Alicia Keys comes out to play Moonlight Sonata. Wow. And then towards the end, I believe after Michael spoke, then Shaquille O'Neal spoke, then Christina Aguilera came out to sing Schubert's Ave Maria to sort of close it out, and she has a beautiful voice. And then they played Dear Basketball, the Oscar-winning short, and then Kimmel was emotional. He said, thank you. And that ended the memorial. It was heavy, man. A few times, so we got these commemorative T-shirts with Gigi and Kobe, and there's a few times where I just like had to put the bottom of the shirt over my eyes, man, because it was powerful, man.
But let's stay there then, because it's like
No. It's about something. Yeah.
Listen, we have that tagline: "Be a part of something." So this is
you're a part of something right now.
Now, when you talked about, obviously, you got emotional yourself, right?
Yeah.
That relationship that you had with Kobe, and that, like, for us, Cabbie Richards and Kobe, that exchange that you guys had for multiple years was awesome.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Now, if you go back in time, how did that get started?
So,
because that's interesting.
December 2005, there was a snowstorm in Toronto, and the day of the game, Lakers at Raptors, and I think that Raptors team was like, it's the same team that Kobe gave me 81, because Kobe gave me 81 January of 2006, and I met him December 2005.
Oh, man.
So it was Mo P, Joey Graham, Jalen Rose, Jose Calderon, coached by Sam Mitchell.
Sam Mitchell, yeah.
So there was a snowstorm the day before, so one other camera crew was there for Lakers practice. So in the NBA, you can speak to players after morning practice, 90 minutes before the game. I believe now it's 90 minutes before the game for 30 minutes, and then after the game. So I spoke to Kobe 3 times on the same day when I'm introducing myself to him. And as a throwaway question at the end of each one, the first one was about bandwagon, but at the end I was like, hey, Kobe, can I stay in your guest house? The next time was about posters. And then at the end of that, I was like, hey, what's your address? He's like,
not to interrupt, but like, what was your thought process to ask Kobe? Can I? Did somebody feed you that? Because I know you talked about you being at the score.
Is that all you?
You said
no. So my producer Dave and I, my man.
Is that D?
Yeah, my man D.
Yo, where's D?
My man D he's not in the. He hasn't been invited to. Why can't we? Maybe you guys can be friends when he comes later. So we always, like, I would go in with 2 or 3 questions as a roadmap, and then just see where it went. So if I'm vibing with you, then hopefully I can just take the thing somewhere. So it was initially about the bandwagon, but just as a throwaway line, it's like, can I stay at your house? And then it was like, but sorry, what's your address? He's like, my address? He's like, yeah. He goes, it's 8 Out of Your Mind Avenue. And he wore 8 at the time. And then after the game, I asked him, I think I had printed out like MapQuest, like some
The directions.
yeah,
you-
and then like it came out,
That's
like,
all you though?
yeah, because now I'm taking what he ate out of Mount Avenue. I'm like, okay, now I need to follow up on this. And then, so then we go to, well, it was collaborative, Dave and I. Then we go to Houston in February of 2006 for the All-Star Weekend.
Okay.
Then I'm asking him, like, why are things bigger in Texas? Because I said, and then I was like, okay, what's your phone number? And he's like, 1-800, never ever call me ever. I was like, okay,
I
cool.
saw that.
So then
That was
again, the next
classic-
time,
classic interview.
I saw him, same weekend, I'm asking him about like, defying gravity, being a high flyer, and then I followed up with I was like, Kobe, I tried the number, but it didn't go through. And then he's like, oh, that's by your data plan or something, like, it's your phone plan. I'm like, oh, is it because long distance because I'm from Canada? And he's like, yeah, your phone plan is not up to snuff. And then so then like every year after that, then December of 06, then December of 06, usually in December, I would go to LA and then I would bring, so then I brought props. I brought like pillows and like CDs. This is how old it was. Bro, Black Album, I brought Jay-Z's, what was the one with the red case?
Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come. I had like an Aguilera record. Like I brought these CDs and he's like, you don't think I have pillows in my house? I'm like, well, I don't want to like impose because I don't have pillows in my house. I don't have like toiletries and I don't have towels in my house. I'm like, you probably do. And then I asked him like, okay, well, like I'm here in LA. What is your address? And he lived in Orange County at the time. And he's like, okay, I'll give you an address. I'm like, okay, cool. And he goes 1251 Compton Avenue. I'm like, Compton? You live
In Compton.
you live in Compton? He's like, yeah. I'm like, is it? I'm like, is it?
You're like, I haven't even gotten to Jane and Shepherd. You want me to go to Compton?
I grew
I've
up.
been in
I
Cambridge.
lived in Jane Finch. I did live in Cambridge.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I did live in Cambridge.
Wikipedia again.
But
donating
I
soon.
lived in Jane and Finch from like 5 to 10. But anyway, back to the Kobe story.
He's so gangster.
So yeah. Anyway, so we go to the address, and I'm like, Kobe, what time should I meet you there? He goes, about 1 a.m. I'm like, 1 a.m. in Compton? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I went the next day at like 11, and then the address turned out to be a church.
Oh,
So I go into the church.
Okay, that's good.
I'm like, is Kobe here? And this lady's like, no, Kobe in Orange County. Kobe ain't here. He don't live here over here. I was like, okay. Anyway, and it escalated. I brought him pajamas. I brought him like one time a snow globe. I brought him a key to my house. It just went crazy. And he let his guard down because he knew I didn't have an agenda and I wasn't asking about controversies. Obviously, he has a big one in his career.
Yeah.
And I was, that is not the interest of, an interest of mine is covered.
Right.
I'm like on the entertainment side and then I inform second. Whereas, in the TSN context, like James Duffy has to inform the audience first and then be entertaining second.
Right.
I could flip that so I have a lot more fun. Anyway, that's kind of the genesis of the Kobe relationship.
That's cool. That's
That
like
is
you
super cool.
like replayed like the whole dialogue
Yeah,
from those conversations. So it's like near and dear to your heart.
yeah,
Like, I
man.
feel
Kobe elevated me more than any other athlete. And I mean, he didn't have to. I was just some fat Canadian dude, like just a total stranger. And then I just kind of
But not anymore.
Not anymore. Now that
He's in the gym. He's heavy in the gym.
Yeah, it's still
Reps.
heavy, like my stomach. I never show. I'm such a liar on Instagram.
No, you're not, man.
Right? I'm like.
So you mean no use filters?
No, not filters.
No.
I am lying to people.
What do you mean?
I'm never.
According to your Instagram, you have Music Mondays.
I do have Music Mondays. I appreciate
But you
that.
have like F45 every.
No.
day.
No. Like once a week I'll go, but I don't show
Once a week?
I don't show my stomach, bro. My stomach it's a disgusting, it's a disaster of humanity. It's like when lava is like overflowing.
It's not what Instagram says.
You know
Your filter game must be extremely tight.
You know what? I'm very disappointed in this interview. Like I was.
You
like,
should be.
We
You
were
should be
looking
disappointed
forward to having you
as a
here.
human.
But you told us a couple of things that kind of like irked me.
Yo, you know what? I'm still getting over this whole security card thing.
You're gonna
To be
yes. That's what.
To be honest,
What's security
That's what I was
card
gonna say.
The
I was gonna say the same
the
thing.
security card thing. I gave her the keys to the. Here's
He's
my debit number. Here's my credit
F45
number.
was there every
Girl,
single day,
man,
and
yeah.
now he's giving me passwords.
I know. I had. You have to look.
You know what? You're an honest guy, and that's probably what Kobe gravitated toward.
Well, maybe.
Very transparent.
Well, yes, transparent. Unfortunately.
I don't know where we go from here.